got yourself a Hartke 5500 head or a 3500 head, and you're missing the fuse assembly. Well, this video's for you then, because we're in the same boat. So I got this off a dude for pretty cheap, and he told me, he's like, hey, you know, I got this amp, I just can't turn it on, I'm missing the fuse assembly. And I was like, all right. It seemed pretty legit, so I got it from him, got it for pretty cheap. But I figured, oh, okay, I'll just contact Hartke, and I'm able to get another fuse assembly, which pretty much looks like this. But this goes to another amp that they have, but this one doesn't fit. But when I hit them up, they're like, oh, we don't make that amp anymore. I was like, uh-oh. But dude from Hartke was nice enough to send me the schematics on it. So I figured what I can do is just kind of hotwire it to bypass this assembly. So the way these Hartke amps work is they have this fuse, it's called a fuse sled. And it goes inside, and then this little piece goes in, and then you're able to see, I guess, like which voltage you selected by how it's positioned and stuff. So there's two fuses in here. If you're doing a 115 volt for the States, or if you're doing 230 for the, well, in Europe. And then what this is this is a voltage selector. So the way it works is it's got these metal contacts on here, and it's supposed to touch certain pins in here to complete a certain circuit. So essentially you're going to have one circuit that is for the 115 volts, or you got another circuit that's going to complete for the 230 volts. Well, I don't intend on ever taking this to Europe, and this thing will probably die before it ever goes there, so we're just going to wire this thing up for 115. I kind of wanted to do it at least in a nice way, so in case I ever had to wire it back, or if I sell this to some dude and this, 20 years from now, he's like, tries to plug it in, he wants it the other way, well, it'll make it kind of easy for him. But let's get started. So I got this wire. Now I had to buy some supplies just to get this thing together, but I bought this wire, and this is looking a little too thin for my liking. It's 22 gauge, and this is supposed to be 22 gauge also. Yeah, this is 22. This also says 22 on it, but this is like way too thin. And I do not feel comfortable using this at all. So we're going to change our plans up a little bit. Let's get this out of the way. So I think what I'm going to have to do is just kind of cut back these little spade connectors and put some new spade connectors on there. And I'll try not to take off too much wire. I ordered so I ordered some stuff for it, right? Like I got these like little crimpers and stuff. And I got the spade connectors, but I did forget to order some wires, so we're just gonna have to make do, I guess. And I don't want to have to wait again to order some new stuff, so we'll just do it today. So the way the schematic works, and I kind of did it on this side. I got these colors kind of flipped because the blue is the hot side and the red is supposed to be the neutral or the return. Now essentially, here's where the voltage comes in, right? And it's going to come here and it's going to go here. And there's two transformers in here. I don't know what they're called. I'm not exactly an electrician, but there's two coils that we got to power in here. So it's essentially splits off, and if you can see right here, there's 6 wires. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going in here into this big one. These little ones don't count, but this big one, there's 6 wires going in there. And that's going to be 2 for 2 hots and 2 neutrals for both transformers. That's 4. But then we have the wires coming out to kind of complete this circuitry for which one you want to, if you want to do 115 or 230. So it's 3 wires, that makes 6. So what I did buy is I bought these little tag things because I want to pull these off. I want to label them because I don't want to lose which one is which, because there's no way to know. So we'll just stick with these white ones, I guess, because they're kind of easier to see. Pull these out. Unfortunately, there's kind of no way to know which wire goes to which pin. I guess there kind of is, if you kind of know a little bit about electronics. But to make it simple, essentially what we have to do is we have to bridge together the wires going to pin 9 and 10, and we have to bridge together wires going from 6 to 7. That's going to complete our circuit. But since we were missing a fuse assembly, we also have to kind of create our own, which I kind of bought this. So So it's just these little fuse. Take it out. It's just a little wire that has you can put a fuse in the middle. And so we're going to create our own little fuse assembly here. But, it comes with two. Sorry, I'm a little sick. I'm just getting over a cold, but I just wanted to get this video done because I have this amp and I want to get it over with. So what you do is you put a fuse in here, and so this is what essentially this 115 volt fuse. We got to wire this right here. So if we take a look, here's the switch, and right here is going to be the hot, which is going to be this side. This side's the hot. It's going to come out here, and this hot is going to go into the transformer right first. So that's going to go. I don't know where this 10 amp thermal fuse is. It's probably inside. I have no idea, but it's going to go here inside, and it's going to split off into two. So essentially, the two are going to be 9 and 10 are going to be the red and the black wire right here. And the way this pinout is, and it's kind of hard to see now, but the way the pinout is it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then the bottom ones are numbered too, but they're just like, the hot and the neutral and like the fuse circuitry. The yellow here, the yellow is easy to kind of determine because the yellow is just going to be this extra reroute circuitry if we wanted to do 230 volts. So it's kind of easy to see. So what we're going to do, here's my Sharpie. Man, these are dirty as hell. Where the hell did I get these from? Jesus. Look at that. Wow. So let's pick a clean one. So we're going to do one for 10. This one's going to be 10. Right? And we're going to do, let's get a clean one. We're going to do one for 9. You know what, those are, I should have made these the neutrals since the neutrals are white. Let's do that. It's smarter. So, it can get a little confusing. So in, I think these are red. I'm colorblind. So when you have electronics, typically if you ever had to like jump your car, you'll notice that there's a red terminal, kind of a black terminal, right? So red's always going to be the hot, black is always going to be like the ground or the return. But that's DC because you have a DC battery, so that's direct current. But here we're dealing with kind of like a, I don't know, an in-home appliance, and it works off AC. So the rules are a little different. But the way it works is the red and the black are going to mean hot, and the whites are going to mean neutral. Blue will sometimes mean traveler, but this is it's just to kind of differentiate the circuitry. So this gray is going to be this one right here, and then this blue I think is going to be that pin. No, that's from the fuse. So it's going to be essentially this side coming from the fuse, and we'll get there. So okay, so I'm not doing 9 and 10 on those. We'll put those away. And this one's going to be 9. You can read this. It's going to be 10. The more I look at these, the more these look kind of brown. These red. I don't know, they look like kind of the reddest thing I got in here, so if you're not colorblind, good for you. And then these white ones we're going to make 9 and 10, because 9 and 10, oh yeah, see, that's what happens when you get mixed up. So we'll keep the 9 and 10. 9 and 10, okay, so yeah, 9 and 10 are going to be the hot. Right here is the 9 and 10. I'm mixing myself up. And then 6 and 7 are going to be the neutrals. So 6, 7. Now I want to, like I said, I want to label these because once I pull them off, I'm not going to know what the hell's going on. I'm not exactly an electrician or anything, so I know a little bit, but I know just enough to break stuff. So this is pin 10. So we're going to wrap this around here. This is 10. We don't want to lose it. And I kind of thought, when I was kind of buying these labels, I'll link all the stuff that I bought. I'll put the links to Amazon in the video. But when I was buying the stuff, I was like, okay, what could I put in here that's not going to fade over time, hopefully, and that's not going to you know, like degrade or something, and these plastic ones were like kind of the only ones I found that seemed legit. So red one is 9. I'm pretty sure these tabs are red. We're just gonna pretend they're red for the video, even if they're not. All right, so what we got is we got 9, we got 10, we got the hots. So these ones are gonna have to bridge together, and I bought some of these little connectors just because I kind of want to keep it clean. Excuse me. I want to keep it kind of a clean. I know, and you could, I think, if this was about 10 years ago, what I would have done is probably just spliced them, twisted them together, and rolled some electrical tape over it. But I don't want to do that because that's not how you're supposed to do it. So now we need to get 6 and 7, which is going to be, I believe this one is blue is 6. We could have put a blue one on there, but oh well. I really hope this works out. I've never done this before, but the little I know about electronics is that this might work. So we got 6. Now we need 7, which I believe is right here in the middle. Come on. Pain in the butt. Okay. Is that 7? Can't really tell. Oh yeah, there's a 7 right there. Okay, so this is 7. So I'll upload the schematic on this video too, just so you guys have it. So you don't gotta hit up Hartke like I did. Alright, so this is 6, this is 7. These ones are gonna have to bridge. But, oh man, this is probably what I needed more wire for. What we're gonna have to do is create our own fuse assembly here. So what happens is this, so there's a switch right here, right? So the way this is gonna follow is that on the return side, right, the white, this gray right here is the hot. So the way this is gonna work, let's get all these out of the way so we can make more sense of this. Just stay over there. So the way this is gonna work is that this neutral is gonna come out here. It's gonna go to the switch, like we see right here, right? This is the power switch. And then it's gonna come back and it's gonna go to the 12 amp fuse. It's got a 12 amp right here. It's kind of confusing because some of the manuals I've seen for this amp, for this head, talk about using a 10 amp fuse, but I think the 10 amp is for the 3500 model. So the 3500 model, I think it's 350 watts. This is the 5000 model. This is 5000 watts. So since it's more, you're going to want to use, you know, a higher amp fuse. So we're going to use a 12 amp fuse. Got some 12 amp fuses right here. So what we're going to have to do is the fuse assembly for the 115 volt, I believe, is here on the left. So where's that other one I had? So if it's anything similar like this, right, it's going to show, here's the two 2240s on the right side, the 100 to 120 volts on the left side. And this is for, like I said, the other Hartke amp that I have. Which means these two wires right here complete the fuse assembly circuit. So you know, let's label those two while we're at it, huh? What color should we use for fuse? Let's use something different. Let's use blue. I know this color scheme might not make a whole lot of sense, but, you know, we're not getting paid for this or anything, so screw it. Let's call it fuse. We'll call it 115. That way we know. Fuse 115. Our whole goal is just to make this work. It doesn't really have to be pretty. Just as long as it turns on so we can play some bass. So the fuse assembly on this side, so let's try pulling this one off again. Yeah, so this one's gonna go in here, right? And that's essentially what from here, so here's the fuse. I know I kind of drew over it, but right here on the 115 fuse, this is that white wire that goes inside, not this one, that goes inside the transformer here. So let's pull this off, just cooperates. I also have to mention that before you do any of this, if you're still here with us, don't do this while the amp's plugged in, because that's not good. All right, and then this is going to be the other side of it. Actually, let me pause this here. I'm getting ahead of myself. I need to keep this plugged in. This has to complete the circuit. Okay, how am I doing this? This is where I should have bought some wire. I really don't want to use this wire because it just looks like crap. So, what we need to do is we need to complete the circuit for a fuse. So, okay, so we need to leave this in. Let's see, okay, this is my paste the plan. So this is gonna go in. Where did I unplug that other one from? So this is. Oh yeah, I already messed up. Good thing I'm taking a video of this. So I freaking kill myself. So this is the cold. I accidentally grabbed the wrong wire. That'll be bad. So this is supposed to be the hot. That goes in here. So I'm just being a dummy. Just ignore me. I don't know why I unplugged that. That's the hot. And that goes in there. So what we want to do, this is going to be the other end of the fuse. That goes in here. Okay. We're back on track, boys. This is what happens, I guess, when you're sick and not thinking, not all there thinking. All right, so this is fuse, this is fuse. So what we got to do is we're going to put a fuse assembly in the middle of this, okay? So this right here is this one right here, right? See this? This is the other end of the power switch. So it's going to go cold, right? This is the return. It's going to go to the power switch, which is from here to here. And then on the other side of the switch is this other white wire that goes to the fuse assembly. I know it might be a little complicated, so if you got to watch this video a couple times, go for it. And it's going to go to the fuse assembly. And then on the other side of the fuse assembly is going to be this other white wire that's going to go to the transformer. And it's going to go inside and it's going to branch off, right? So essentially what happens is it goes in, it splits up between two other wires, which are going to be 6 and 7. And then they kind of come back out so they can kind of get bridged right here. So, this is hot, right? Yeah, this is hot. Okay. So, here's the fuse. See, and this is why we label them. Doing a good job already. All right, so we're going to cut these back. Should probably only have to cut one, huh? So this is going to be kind of the boring part. If you want to fast forward through this, I don't blame you. Go ahead and do that. So what we're going to do is I bought these quick connect. I don't know what they're called. I think they're called spade connectors. Just terminal connectors, whatever. I'll have a link in the description. But we're going to kind of put some connectors on here so we can just connect them between these two fuses. So we're not going to cut these back. We're just going to put some male ends on here. Now this is 22 wire gauge. This is 18. So one thing that's important is that the red is going to fit between the 22 and the 18, right? So we're going to use red, and we're going to use male connectors. Male connectors have the inside, these ones have the outside. I think you can kind of figure out how that works, right? So what we're going to do, it's already kind of cool set up for us, is we're going to stick this in here. And we got our little handy dandy crimper, and we're going to choose the red one on the end right here, right? So make sure that's in there all the way. And we're going to crimp. think I'm doing this right. Oh, shit. Damn it. Alright, let's do it like this. I'm going to hold it up so I'm not knocking it off, but... So we're going to do the red one here. Alright. Why is this such a pain in the butt? Let's get this thing open. I probably should put it in there first and then kind of slide it on or something. But something like this. Let's just do it like that. Slide it in there first, make sure it's in there all the way, and then crimp. We're gonna crimp it. Not exactly sure how you're supposed to crimp these, but I think a good rule of thumb is to you want it to close all the way if you can, and then have it pop back open. So, and it's kind of twisting. That does not make me feel comfortable at all. It doesn't want to come out, but we'll just crimp it one more time. Excuse me. Alright, so that's on there pretty good. It's not really going to spin or anything. So, now we'll get the other side. I'm going to grab another male connector. I'm going to learn from our mistake from the last one. And we're going to do this a little bit easier now. We're going to kind of preset that in a little hole. And then crimp. I'm going to grip it. There we go. All right. I think both are pretty set. Yeah, so we're crimped. Let's go ahead and put a fuse in here. The only problem with this setup that we're doing is that if you got to replace a fuse, you're going to have to take this whole thing apart. And that's just how it goes. I mean, I guess we could wire this to be on the outside somewhere, but I'm not doing that. So I got to cut this. Grab a kitchen knife. Cut away from yourself just in case. This is not safe at all. It's making me feel very uneasy. There we go. Hopefully you're smarter about opening that than I am. I've cut myself too many times with knives trying to open stuff. Alright, so we're going to put this fuse in here. This is a 12 amp fuse. It's a fast blow. And it's rated for 250 volts, which is what this calls for here. So we're putting the correct amp in there as far as these schematics are concerned. If for whatever reason it doesn't work, then oh well. We'll figure it out. All right, so we have our fuse assembly essentially wired. So what we're gonna do, and it doesn't really matter which way it goes because all it has to do is just pass through this fuse. So we're going to stick the male connector in here. Oh, you're kidding me. It's gonna be the wrong size, isn't it? It's not gonna let me do it. Maybe I gotta bend it. Okay, I should just bend it a little bit. Hope this fits in here. That's what she said. I don't think that's gonna fit. What size is this one? It's supposed to be 22 or something. Yeah, it's just a little bit bigger. Well, I think we can kind of bend that out if we can kind of get in there. I don't know if I have anything flat enough to get in there. I don't want to have to re-terminate this wire. But if it's just going to be impossible, we might have to. Yeah, there's no way that's going to fit. Yeah, this crimp looks a little bit more professionally done than my crimp, so I don't want to mess with it too much. So, I need a tool to kind of get in there and pry that open. Just a little bit. I don't know if I have anything. Something we kind of did not account for. What do I have? See if we can just brute force our way in there. Just kind of bend it up a little bit. Kind of making progress. All right, there we go. Sweet. Just gotta open it up a little bit. That's all. All right, that's gonna be a tight fit. So, hey man, it works. All right, so we got that one connected. Just means these other ones are gonna be a pain in the ass. So this is the other end of the fuse circuitry, right? Remember, if we remember correctly, this one went into the fuse sled on one of these terminals, and then the other one went into one of the other terminals. And so instead of all we're doing is, instead of having it run through there for a fuse, we're just having it run through here, right? So we just make our own fuse assembly. I'm trying to think. Would it be smart to kind of have this hang out on the outside to change it? Maybe. I don't know. I'll just keep it inside for now, because I didn't think that far ahead. Because we're just playing rock and roll. Ain't doing anything else. So what I'm kind of doing here is I'm kind of using this spade male connector to kind of pry up the crimped ends on this female one. And we're just smashing it in there. Kind of pry it open a little bit. We're just working our way in there. It would probably be more intelligent to cut this off and put, you know, another sized spade connector in there that I have already. But I don't want to. I want to keep everything factory as much as possible. Now, if it was like a huge, like vastly different size, then I would definitely swap it out. But these ones are close enough. And this is kind of just the dirty part, is kind of making it fit. Well, you can learn from my mistake, and if you feel better, you can terminate it yourself with a different spade connector. Maybe be a little smarter about it than what I'm doing here. I'm trying to get on my nerves now. Damn it. Get on my nerves. Work smarter, not harder, am I right? Alright, it's in there. Good news is that is a tight connection. That is not going anywhere. Okay. Alright, so now we got our fuse assembly, right? And what we've done, just to reiterate, is we've essentially bypassed the fuse circuitry in this, assembly right here. And we've built this part, is what we've done. We've built here to here. And it's just, here to here, right, through the power switch, which is on this side. And then it's going to come through here, through the fuse, this 12 amp fuse, which is this part. And then it's going to go to this white wire into the transformer. Now that's done. We'll just tuck that away. And then there's also a ground too, but it's pretty short, so I unplugged it so I can, maneuver this around. And here you can kind of get a better idea of the pinout. It's 3 on top, 3 in the middle, 4 on the bottom. And these two are just the fuses. Fuse, fuse. This is the power cable. And then there's 6 connectors. 6, 8, 10, 5, 7, and 9 in the middle. So, and the yellow ones are strictly for this 250 volt, not 200, the 230 volt European electrical. So that's what that's for. I kind of want to leave them plugged in just because I don't want to have to label them and forget what's what. So we'll just leave them plugged in. All right, so now we're going to bridge 6 and 7, which are the returns, right? These are the neutrals. And this is why I really wanted to buy some wire, was because I did not want to have to cut these off at all. And what we're gonna have to do is I don't feel comfortable cutting both off because I don't want to make this shorter, because if I lose these cables that are in there, this thing is toast, right? There's no way I'm digging those cables out. So I think what I want to do is we're just gonna have to go through the painful process again of trying to smash in connectors, because I really don't want to cut both. I'd rather just cut one. So what we'll do is see which one's longer. Which one can we lose? No, they're about the same length. I probably should just cut both, but I'm nervous. It's my first time. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to strip this back. This is 22 wire gauge. I already had. I didn't buy this on Amazon, but if you're going to buy one of these, make sure you get a good one. This the 22? 24 to 22. It looks like it's like too tight. Sweet. See what happens when you get a good pair of wire cutters, man? Oh shit. We don't want to leave any trash in here. Just gonna twist this a little bit, like that. We are going to grab another male end connector. Put that in there. And we are going to crimp. You know what, let's just do it like we did before, where we kind of set this. And then put that in there. And then crimp like there's no tomorrow. Crimp. Ah, fantastic. How did that happen? Well, that's trash. Why that happened, I have no idea. Let's try it again. I hope the well, this wire's not too small or something. I think it is. Okay, we're gonna have to do something else then, because that sucks. Damn, it's really just falling out, huh? Okay. Let's see. I don't think I have any of the smaller connectors. This connector says it fits 22 to 18. I think this fuse assembly that we built, where'd it go? This is 18, so it fits. But yeah, I think because these are smaller connectors. Whatever. Maybe it just won't fit in there or something. It's got the shielding on it. I don't understand. This is why I did not want to. This is why I did not want to lose these. Not want to, you know. I wanted to use the factory crimps. Okay. Let me think. I think I have another solution here. That we're gonna have to use. So. Let me pause this and then I'll go get something. Okay, we're back. So I think what I'm gonna have to use is some of this shrink tubing on here. So I already had this. I did not order it with my stuff, but you can find it pretty easily on Amazon. You just look. I think what we're gonna have to do, because I'm gonna lose too many connectors, is let's see, is this too big, too small? I really need some bigger shrink tubing here. Hopefully it shrinks. We'll try some of this one. Hopefully we can get it tight enough. I think typically what you can also do is probably use some electrical tape. We just need a way to fasten this on there. Or maybe, oh, you know what might be happening is there's probably not enough of this. Let me try it one more time. There's probably not enough of this jacket of the insulation going in, and so it needs to crimp onto this insulation, but what it's crimping on really is the wire. So just cut a little bit of that off. Let me throw this in the trash. Last thing I want are little metal pieces everywhere. Alright, so I think what's happening, I think I'm correct when I'm saying that we had too much cable. So let's try this again, because what it needs to crimp around is it needs to crimp around that jacket. Or the insulation. Oh, is it like... I think what's happening is this wire's too thick to go in there. I think that's what's happening. I mean, this is 22 gauge wire. But I think maybe the, this is too big to go in there or something. Maybe I need to step it up. I'll have to step it up to a higher one. Let's see. We got the blue. The blue is 16 to 20 something. Let's see. So it seems like it kind of fits in there better. But if I change this out, I'm going to have to change out the other one too. I'll have to change out 6 just to get them to match. I think I might have to. Let's try. Yeah, see, that one fit. That one fit a lot better. Okay, let's just try to... We're going to go back to our method of just smashing it in there. Let's see if we just get that son of a bitch in there. Maybe twist it a little bit. So I can see it. I can see it. I can see it on the inside poking through. So it's, I mean, it's in there. Just make sure that's on tight. No crimp. There we go. All right. Yes, son of a bitch. Okay. I mean, it's smashing it. It just doesn't want to fucking stay on. I don't know what your deal is, man. Alright. This is... I'm going to lose more wire on this one. This is what I don't want to do. Did not want this falling in there anywhere. Okay. Cuts pretty easily too, which is pretty sweet. So let's cut a little bit more off. And I'm cutting as little off as I possibly can, because I do not want to lose any of this wire. Alright, maybe we'll see. So the blue one here is a bigger diameter, which means it's not going to crimp down as much as we'd like it to. I just don't know why this red just does not want to crimp down on here. I think the jacket's not fitting inside, is what it looks like. I don't know, you can't really see, but this jacket just looks still too big. So maybe if we do use a blue, might allow for the more of the sleeve to get in there from the wire. Let's just try it. Let's just try and see what happens. So now we're going to use the blue one. Let's see. One in the middle. Alright, so it's in there. We're going to crimp. That wasn't so bad. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Okay. Now we're getting more of the jacket, I think. This does not want to pull out. So... However, none of the wire in there is actually touching anything, from what I can see. So that's just a bad crimp job. So, let's try to pull it off. Yeah, it's like not enough wire. So let's get some more wire off of here, huh? And I pulled some wire off, son of a bitch. Alright. Just losing more wire. By the time we get down to it, man, we're going to be out of wire. This is why I kind of, that off of there. Last thing I want is little metal bits all around. So, what I typically do when I do these is just to not pull the wire out. I try to slightly cut it a little bit by spinning it. And this, yeah, see, this says like 22, but this is more like an 18 or something. This does not look like a 20. It says 22, but I think this the jackets on it's like really big. Crap. Oh well. Let's try the 14 here. Let's see. I'm essentially doing surgery. So I don't want to lose any more wire than I have to. Yeah, that one's not big. That one's not enough. Let's try 12. No. There's just not enough wire though. Need more. Need more wire. Yeah, so this is 22 gauge wire, I think. It's just, these sleeves are just massive. I don't really know enough about wire to tell you what's going on here. All I know is that we need to cut this bitch. Alright. Yeah, this jacket is just huge. So I think what we'll have to do is kind of fold this back in on itself so we can get some more surface area. And see if we can fit this in one of the blue ones. So it can actually make contact with the metal. So that looks better. So let's put this in the blue one. Make sure it's in there. Crimp. The blue one's not as hard as the red one, I can tell you that. Kidding me, man. Maybe I got too much wire now. What am I doing wrong? Shove it in there more. You can feel free to skip past this part. I'm going to keep it in anyway, just so you can learn from my mistakes. Looks pretty good to me. Well, it's on there pretty tight, which means we're gonna do the same to this one. Cut this old connector off because this is gonna be a completely different size. I don't think I can really smash that one in there. I can do it with the other ones. This is why I wanted to buy some extra wire. So yeah, this is 22 gauge, man. They're both 22 gauge, but you can tell, you can see the difference here in like the wire size. One's just way thicker. So let's do the same, get the same treatment for this one. Just cut this off. Let's get the blue, let's make this label out of the way. It definitely cuts it. Okay. I'm just kind of being really gentle taking these off. I don't want to lose any more than I need to. If I stick it in here like this, that can be way too much. That's like way too much wire. Not exactly a professional in how these crimps are supposed to be, but let's look at an example, huh? When I didn't cut off. There's the red and the black. These ones look... these ones are a little different, huh? Sure, it's fine. Okay, where was I? We're crimping this one. I'm just gonna twist this, fold it back on itself for some surface area. Twist a little bit more. Try not to twist it too much, I don't want to break anything off. Pick up our crimp connector. Put this in there. See, I can see it on the other end, so I think we're doing good. Try to shove it in there as much as possible. Pick up the crimp. We're gonna crimp. Make sure it's on there. Crimp. Maybe these connectors just suck. I don't know. All right, so now that those are connected, right, we're bridging. Let me throw this away, hold on. Keeping this one as an example. So what we're doing here is we're bridging. We just bridged 6 and 7, right? So we're bridging these connections. Oh man, I used 2 males like an idiot. I thought I put a female on there. Must have got mixed up in the box. It's all right. All right, this one's a female. This one's a female for sure. Put it in there, make sure it's in there tight. Got a crimp. All right. So they're pretty good. I'm gonna bridge these connections. Bada bing, bada boom. Definitely a lot easier. All right, so now all we gotta do is bridge the hots, 9 and 10. Which are going to be red and black. Where'd you go? This is, oh, here we go. Okay, so we're gonna have to cut these down and do the same thing that we've been doing. I hope this one's going a lot easier. You're with me so far. Thank you for staying tuned while I act like an idiot trying to get these fucking things working. Alright, let's get enough off of here. I'm not going to sit here and say I know a lot about what I'm doing. I just know enough to try to fix it. And I know that somebody, probably 10 years from now, is going to be having a Hartke bass amp, one of these heads, and go, damn, I lost the fuses for it. And they're going to watch this and go, oh, here's what I do. Thanks, guy on YouTube. Well, dude, 10 years from now, you're welcome. Hopefully you do a better job than I am. You know what I do have, actually? If this doesn't work for whatever reason and it's just not connecting, I do have some other connectors I can use that might be a little bit better, but I wanted to do the factory spec, you know what I mean? Keep these little spade connectors going. Alright, so once I bridge this, we're essentially done. Then we can plug in and we can test. I don't know how safe I feel about it, but I think we'll be okay. Alright, let's cut off red wire here. And I think the problem with these connectors is that this jacket's a little too thick for these connectors I'm using, and the wire's a little too small. I think that's the problem I'm running into. There we go. Lost a couple of wires. It'll be alright. Alright, we got a male. Make sure we grab a female connector, huh? Yeah, it's a female. Get it in there. It's a little snug. Make sure it's on there, you know, nice and tight. Get the crimp. Crimpity crumpity. Make sure it's on there tight. Crimp. And we're crimped. Alright, this is the last connection we need to make. So hopefully this works. If it doesn't work, could be these connections suck, or it could be something else is wrong with the amp, but we'll find out once we plug it in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to affix this back to the back. And then, you know, once I test it and plug it in while it's open and I verify it actually just turns on, the fan turns on or something, I'll just, you know, presume it's working. So I'm going to leave everything as in there as much as I can, but I have to take these wires off, which is a pain in the butt because I have to put it in from the outside. So just remember the gray is on the left here because that's the hot. This is the hot. And the white is on the right. White on the right. And I gotta take these screws out. It's a little snug because of these little connectors, spade connectors in there, but okay, well, let's get it in there first, then I'll connect it. Come on, just screw in there. Alright, I'm going to plug in, this is the white one to the switch, that's the return. I'm going to plug it in to the right side. Gray goes on the left because that's the hot. And we got to plug in the ground on the bottom. So I want to make sure it's grounded. Alright, so just before I plug this in, I want to make sure this is off, down is off. When you can see the O, it usually means off. O doesn't mean off, I think it means like open circuit, but let me grab a power cable and plug this in. All right, I got the power cable. Plug this in here. Plug this into the wall. Hopefully I don't blow a fuse or something. Here we go. Alright, moment of truth. Hey, it's working. I hear the fan, lights on. Alright. Fan is working. Now, I'm just going to wiggle these connections a little bit. Make sure they're not loose or anything. Be very careful if you're doing what I'm doing, because this is kind of dangerous. Might want to redo this. This is kind of loose. I don't like that. I think it should be fine. Alright, turned it off. I'm going to unplug it. Now, typically, what's going to happen is when you're dealing with these is that these capacitors, and just a lot of capacitors in here, they're going to retain a lot of electricity until they drain, so I don't really want to touch a whole lot in here right now. That's the last thing I want to do because I'm not certified or anything, but what I want to do is take the fuse out, and I dropped it, and just check the fuse. Fuse is not blown, looks pretty good. Stick it back in there. I mean, if the fuse blew, it wouldn't have turned on in the first place, but I think this is good. I think this is working. Like I said, this is kind of a little loose. I don't like that. Yeah, see. Okay, let's redo that one then. So we're going to redo this. this is not the hot side or anything, so I shouldn't be getting electrocuted. But what we're gonna do just to be safe is we're gonna unscrew this, and just so we can do this by itself, so we're not touching anything else. And typically, also what you want to do, anytime you're working with electronics like this, is you never want to put two hands in it at the same time. I've done that before. I was working on a fog machine, and I literally got electrocuted, and it like threw me back. And good thing I fell back, because I would have been getting electrocuted to death. So you just want to be careful. But we'll do another red. We'll do another red connector. And the one I pulled off was a male. So I'll do the male connector again. Because once I close this up, I do not want to have to open it again. Where's the cripper? Yeah, so I guess now is a good time to tell you that the main reason I wanted to make this video was, well, especially for you, Guy, 10 years from now, but mostly because I buy so much, not so much, but I buy a lot of stuff like secondhand, and then the dude is like, yeah man, it just doesn't work, and then I open it and I'm like, oh, that's it. And it's, you know, if you kind of have a little idea of what to do, it's really an easy fix. You're just bridging these connections, and there's probably an easier way to do it. There's probably a sloppier way to do it, if you really just don't give a damn. But I try to do it at least in a nice way to make it kind of clean, electrically speaking. Let's see. These red ones are a bitch. That seems pretty solid to me. So we're gonna connect this back together. This is the one we had to kind of open up a little bit, but it's in there. So, and then we'll put the fuse back in. But yeah, I bought the other Hartke amp that I was kind of showing you this whole assembly from. Was it's a combo amp. It's like the 2000 model or something like that. It's 200 watt amp, and it's got 15 inch speaker on it. And the dude was like, yeah, it's got a buzzing sound. And I was like, all right, I'll paid him $60 for it. I was like, oh, I'll take it. Maybe I can fix it. Well, the dust cover on the cone just kind of came unglued a little bit because it's old. And all I did was just buy some glue for like $9, you know, some speaker glue, glued it back on, and it works perfectly. Good sound. So I should have done a video about that, but I didn't know it was going to be that easy. So, and what I'm probably going to do also, I don't know if I'm going to do this or not, but I might just fold this up and kind of leave this in here, you know, and tape it in there or something, just for the next dude who sees this and goes, what the fuck? Maybe I'll put a link to the video in there too on the paper, just so you can see what I did to this amp. So we can go, what in the fuck is this guy doing? This idiot. But hey man, if it works, it's not stupid. No, I joke a lot, but I'm actually pretty smart. Don't want to grab that. Okay, so I kind of, you know, cut all these little ends off. Cut this one off too. Alright. So what we're going to do is just stuff this in here, just because, you know, fuck it. And, I think this amp is probably good to go. So I'm gonna plug it into my, other Hartke amp, and just use the speaker on it. It's kind of like a cab. It should be compatible with it as far as the ohms and stuff. And yeah, I think we're good to go, man. Just put this cover back on. Let's be in business. Now it's very important to note that there is no exposed metal or anything. That's why I kind of went with this, you know, these little connectors and stuff, and there's nothing's going to touch anything else and short anything out. Even this yellow, I'm going to leave the yellow connectors on here, but they're not touching anything. You know, there's nothing that's going to Nothing's gonna bridge anything. None of these are live or anything, so it's just the connectors and stuff. So we'll put this back together. And maybe one day I'm using this at a show and I'm playing it, and then something breaks on it because I need to do a better crimp job or something, and then hopefully it doesn't happen, but that does happen across that bridge when I get to it. Now I think normally what somebody might do making a video like this is they might cut out all the parts where they made the mistakes and we're like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. But I'm gonna leave them in. I'm not afraid. God, what the hell's going on? Because I want you guys to kind of see the mistakes that I made, so you don't make the same mistakes. I'm not afraid to learn. I'm not afraid to say I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I mean, I kind of know what I'm doing. I just don't do this for a living or anything. This was a fun little project. So now what I need to do is I need to get a bass cab, preferably a Hartke, to go with this head that I got. Found some dude on OfferUp. Trying to get his. He's selling it for $100. Let's see what happens. Now, putting this this cover back on, I'm not screwing them down intentionally all the way yet, because what happens is it's an extremely tight fit and not all the screws want to go in. As you can kind of tell, I'm having a little bit of a hard time. So what I do is I kind of thread them in a little bit so they're all in, and then I tighten them all down because it's not exactly on center. And you don't have to do like a star pattern here or anything. There's no torque spec. We're just screwing this thing on, but I'm going to kind of do a star pattern anyway because that's kind of what I'm used to. It's just kind of the like universal tightening. That way it's all uniform. I think that one's a crisscross pattern, star pattern, whatever. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Probably won't be making another one like this because I don't do this all the time. I just got this amp for really cheap and needed a way to make it work. So I found a way to make it work. I don't know. If you got, I don't really do like intense repairs or anything. I'm not going to get in here with a multimeter and start tracing stuff. If that ever happens, I'm like, screw it. I'm not touching it. I don't got time for that. But I sure can connect some wires and read a schematic a little bit and just kind of, plug one thing into another. Alright, let's plug it into the bass cab. Alright, looks like it works. So it's not super loud, but as I think because this is a 500 watt head, it's not really rated for this speaker, but I just kind of use it as a test case because I don't have a bass cab right now. So, but it turns on, it plays sound. If I get it into a proper bass cab with that's has the right wattage and ohms for this head, then I think we're in business. Looks good. Alright, thanks for watching the video. I don't know, like and subscribe or something.